I'm a piano tuner. I've always been a piano tuner. Old school. Steinway trained. Steinway fired. In the mid-70s, I had a piano ranch. It was located in the Hotel Le Marquis, 31st Street, just off 5th Avenue. We had over 50 head of piano. We sold, repaired, restored, rebuilt, refinished, and tuned classic pianos. Now, rustling up good used pianos, I knew where to find them. I had this operation in Rhode Island. Ran ads in the local paper. Pianos wanted. I hired a local who was also an excellent pianist. He would line up appointments, and every 2 weeks I'd drive all night from New York and arrive the next morning, and we'd check those pianos out. He'd take over controls, drive the car, and drive me to the appointments while I would catch up on my sleep. When we arrived, he'd get out first and announce, "The piano tuner's here." Then I would slowly exit the car with a carefully scripted greeting. "Howdy," I'd say. "You the people with the piano. Sure like to look at it, if I may." Now, if I didn't stick to the script, I couldn't be responsible for whatever jarred loose from my inner cortex. I was a hyperactive, absurd-talking New Yorker. This script was my mask and defense against anybody who would ever wonder, "Golly, what's that strange person doing, driving all the way up here just to look at our old piano?" And so with a howdy, "You the people with the piano, sure like to look at it, if I may." Now, if the piano had potential, I'd buy it. Then 2 weeks later, I'd return with a 4.5-ton truck, pick up my local crew, and we'd have ourselves a piano roundup. Yeah! Now, 2 weeks previously, one of our stops had been the home of an elderly woman who I will call Mrs. Mehlin. She had a beautiful Mehlin upright piano. It was a gorgeously proportioned tiger mahogany case, and it was a rich, fluid vessel of tone, obviously a musician's piano, even though it was horribly out of tune. Now, a cheap piano out of tune sounds like a cheap piano, but a great piano out of tune sounds horrendous. All those distorted harmonics, oh God. Mrs. Mehlin served us tea and biscuits. We talked. Her intuitive, down-to-earth demeanor soon relieved me of my "Howdy, you the people with the piano" act. Now I could finally relax and be the hyper, off-the-wall New Yorker piano tuning musician that I was. We all enjoyed each other's company. After a brief visit, I thanked her, left a check, and told her that we would be back in 2 weeks with a truck. Now, 2 weeks can quickly pass when you're howdying down pianos. So, now it was time for the big trucking piano roundup. By mid-morning, we arrived at Mrs. Mehlin's house. I backed the truck up to the porch, relaxed in the cab, and let the crew do the rest. Checking my mirrors, I kind of noticed that the crew was having a lot of help from a group of men. They were dressed in black suits. Now, being exhausted from the night's drive, I didn't much pay attention, but as we drove away, my assistant asked me, "Did you notice anything unusual back there?" "Well," I said, "I guess you had some help." "Yeah? And?" he asked. I paused again. "Well, everybody was dressed in black, and come to think of it, I didn't see Mrs. Mehlin answer the door." "Yup," he answered. "That's right. And you know why? Well, Mrs. Mehlin had left instructions that we would be coming and that everyone there was to help with the move." "And you know what else was happening?" my assistant asked. "Well, Mrs. Mehlin's body was lying in state in the living room right next to the piano. Her wake was in progress. Early the next morning, a truck full of pianos headed south, back to New York, while in the opposite direction, a hearse carrying Mrs. Mehlin's body drove north towards the final beyond.